Hello and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. That's just crazy. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and a lovely time off. I know I did, and I had a lot of time off, and I think we've got a bit of updating to do, possibly. But before we do, I'm going to finish making my cup of tea and we'll sit here and have a quick update on what has been going on. And yeah, talk about 2026 things, I guess. 2025 things, 2026 things.
I have tea.
I'll pop my butt down. I'm gonna need a coaster. Okay, so if anyone is a regular, comes back, views my videos, which if you are, thank you, I very much appreciate that. You will know that I have not posted in about, well, since, I think like November or something like that. Is that when it was? I can't remember. The last few months were actually quite a bit of a blur for me. But I know that in my last video I kind of talked about how I wanted to like slow my business down, and clearly did just that, which is fine. But within all of that, I also had a market, my partner's 30th birthday, another market, a cram to do a commission ready for a Christmas present, and then Christmas, and then New Year, and here we are. Let's talk about all of those things. So if you are new here, or if you're not, hi, hello, my name is Leah. I am the owner of Lero Art, and I am basically, or at least I wanted to start documenting my journey to becoming a full-time artist, or at least making art my career. And I'm still wanting to do that, but maybe slightly different, because when I talk about it, you'll understand. I just want to change things up a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, also I still have my Christmas tree up as I'm filming this. It is January the 5th. It's still here. It'll come down soon. I did actually film some clips for, I think I actually started filming like after the last vlog, that I kept going. And I did film some clips ready for a market that I had coming up at New Bath Hotel and Spa. So this was in Matlock. It's about 25-30 minutes away from me. And if I have it and it's worthy, which, so honestly at this point, who cares, I'll put it in. But I do basically explain that I made some Christmas decorations, so we'll put that here. Good afternoon / evening. It is really late today as I'm starting this vlog, and yeah, I'm just starting it really late. But before I explain why, welcome, hello. What if you are returning, or if you are new here and you don't know me, hi. If you don't know me, my name is Leah. I am the owner and creative behind Lero Art. I'm starting this week's vlog slightly later because I am just not on top of it at all recently. Well, I am. No, I am. I've spent most of this week, actually, like usually on a Monday is the day that I will edit vlogs, so I spent majority of that, of this Monday doing that and uploading for tonight, so you will all be seeing last week's vlog last week. Basically, the time that the day and time I'm filming this is the day that I upload my videos, which is Wednesday 7 p.m. GMT now. And yeah, I basically spent all of Monday doing that, and then I spent this morning finishing that off, and then I've just sat down and crocheted because I actually have a market at the end of this week. It is my first ever Christmas market, and I need some Christmas bits. I know in my last vlog I was actually talking about how I don't want to make with the intention of selling behind it, but as it is a Christmas market, I kind of thought, well, I at least need some like little like baubles or something like that. So I'm going to take everything else that I do have, even the Halloweeny stuff, I'm just going to take it all. But I actually have been making, like I've just said, making some little baubles. So I have been working on some little sweaters, little ugly jumpers that I'm going to sew on like a snowflake on the front. And then I've also been doing some little stockings, which are to die for. I mean, look at that. Sorry, I'm actually looking at the camera to make sure that I've got this in frame. But look at that. So yeah, I've been doing those. I'm currently working on a purple stocking. And I also have got some candy canes. I will show you those in this. Let me get out of this tangle of yarn that I'm in. One sec. Ugh. So the candy canes that I've made are like twisted, like they're made of like spirals, if you can see, and then they will like dangle like this. So I just need to tidy them up. I actually need to get them out to get them tidied up. And while I'm here, I'm halfway through a bauble. I only have one of these because I ran out of yarn. So that's great. But yeah, I'm literally just prepping for the market today. Tomorrow I don't really have a lot of time to do any prepping or just any making tomorrow, because I will be at my mother's actually sorting out my partner's birthday presents, because he is 30 this year and I need to have a few hours away from him to like sort his stuff out, because we're both home a lot together. Yeah, I just need like a few hours away to sort some stuff out. So tomorrow I probably won't be doing anything. But Friday I am here all day. I shouldn't have to leave the house and I don't have any editing to do. So I'm hoping I can get a bit more done. Probably some more crocheting, because I just want to get like a good amount of bits done, because I also have a market at the beginning of December. So I'd quite like to get like a good amount of each thing done. Prep a few bits ready for the market, and then I will be at the market. So yeah, I think today I'm gonna keep doing these. I've exhausted myself just from standing up. And for the rest of today, I'm definitely gonna keep making some more of these decorations. I'm probably just gonna stick with the jumpers and the stockings. Probably get like 5 to 10. Ideally I would like to take 5 of each to each market, and I think that'll be a good chunk, minus the Christmas pudding. I might have to get some more yarn. I'm trying not to buy more yarn because I just have an abundance of it and I really don't know what to do with it. I know I've spoken before about like my bookmarks and stuff and being kind of disappointed that I can't make more because they're not selling. But maybe I'll make some. I need to get better at marketing. That's one of the things that I really need to like work on. Is just, it's not even necessarily like taking the photos. It's just kind of making them sound appealing to everybody else, you know, so like you will buy them rather than just being like, ta-da, I have things, and then sitting there like, why you no buy? Come on now. But yeah, it's fine for now. But yeah, I just have a huge amount of wool. Luckily I have a lot of like greens, so that's quite nice for Christmas. The only thing I don't have is like a Christmas green. I have it in chenille, but I don't have it in like normal wool. Well, I do a bit, but it's quite vibrant. It's more of a vibrant green than a Christmas green. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'll just make what I can. Basically, I'm just going to pick up a colour and go, okay, I'll make something in this. And I'll make a stocking and a jumper out of it, and we'll see how that goes for now. But yeah, it's making some good progress. So yeah, that was kind of the prep where I was going with the market stuff. If there's anything else in there, at the time of filming, I haven't rewatched the clip. I don't know what else I said, so I can't touch on anything else. But I can touch on how the market went. And the market itself was amazing. I'm gonna be honest, it was probably the first market of this year where I went in with no expectations, because I had a lot of markets in the past where I don't think I went in with high expectations. I went in obviously wanting to make some money, interact with people, but I think the making money was a lot higher up than I really realised. And I don't want to say that hindered me, but I think the expectations kind of were higher than they should have been, and then really kind of like ruined the outcome, I guess. But this market was kind of different. I just went in and was like, I'm not even making anything extra minus the Christmas decorations. I didn't make any new stock, really. Except a couple of like Kindle and book covers, but I was just kind of, I wanted to just make some stuff to kind of stash bust this, and as you can tell, if anything, it's just got worse. No stash busting done at all. So yeah, I just went in thinking like I'm just gonna do the two markets. I actually almost was like, do I even go? It was on a Sunday. It was 10 till 4, so it was a good 6 hours. And I was just a bit like, I don't, like with the past experience, I don't know if I'm not bothered, that I'm probably not going to make anything. I don't know, I don't know if I'm not bothered about going. But in the end, obviously I went, and it ended up being my best market of the year. And not even to the point where I made an extra 10, 20 quid. I triple digits is all I'm going to say. I sold so much stuff that I actually, when I walked through the door, my partner was like, where's your stock gone? And I was like, oh. So yeah, it was just a really good day. I didn't take any like projects with me to like make anything. I just took my book because I didn't know what to expect, and I thought, if anything, I'm just going to use this time to read the book that I was reading at the time and just see what happens. I'm sorry if I sound bummed up. I don't know if I'm poorly, but my throat is swollen, and now I can just hear myself being like, it's just minging. Yeah, like new bath, hotel and spa, Christmas market specifically ended up being amazing. It was such a good day. The vibes were great. I, for whatever reason, seem to end up being put in the weirdest spaces at markets. I don't know what it is, but this time I got put into. So we was in like the main. I want to say, I think it was classed as a ballroom, and then they had like a divider. So the main room you could go in, and there was tables like in this like square. Then there was another room that had food and drink, so I was right next to the bar, and then there was two tables there. I'll try and put a picture up if I can. Either way, I was in a separate room, away from everybody else, near the bar, kind of like behind a partition wall. And to say where I was, and from what I can gather being in the room, I think I was the busiest stall there. And I was just really surprised. Like, I set up, I was ready for like 10 to 10. I always get there a little bit later, not for the start time, but like for setup time, because then, it gives everyone else a chance to come in, and then I can just come in when everyone's done, and then I'm not in anyone's way. There's no like bumping trolleys or whatever. So yeah, I went in, set up, and then within a few minutes, one of the ladies that was running a stall, another artist, I didn't get her details though, which is very stupid of me. She bought 2 items from me, and then from then on, I think I had my sum up, which is currently on the phone I'm filming on, said that I had like 3 to 5 average sales an hour, which was just crazy. It was crazy. So I sold almost all of my plushies, which was terrifying. And this time I actually went in and changed a lot of the prices. So I brought a lot of stuff down. Not bad, by like £2-3. And that made a huge difference. Like, things were actually selling. I also put a lot of them at an odd number, and they also started selling. I don't know what it is about odd numbers, but people don't like rounded up numbers. They like them odd. I think it's because you get change back. There's some kind of like psychological thing when it comes to selling, and apparently that's a fact. I read it somewhere. I was like, okay, I'll try it. I don't know how it's gonna go, but either way, we'll see what happens. If I don't earn anything, nothing's lost. If I do, great. Turns out it works. Oh, the other thing that I did was, rather than put like everything out, so for instance, I have like at the time 5 frogs, 5 ghosts, that kind of thing. Rather than putting them all out, I put out like 1 or 2 if it was little, and then 1 of each of everything else, which I had mostly 1 of each of everything else anyway. But I put 1 of each out because that also tells people that there's only 1 left. It's not true necessarily, but I also just meant that my table wasn't as cramped, like there was more to look at, actually look at, rather than like skim and be like, oh my god, there's so much to look at, I don't know what to process. So I tried some things, turns out they work, and I will try off the top of my head list off everything that I sold, because I'm pretty sure I remember. But out of interest, for a Christmas market, not a single one of my Christmas decorations sold. Am I bothered? No, because I made them just kind of thinking that I don't have anything Christmassy to put on the table. I even put them on like a little Christmas tree. I will show you the photo here. I'll like crop into it. It was really cute. The Christmas tree I got from my parents when I first moved into here. They was kind of just giving me some of their old Christmas decorations, and weirdly it matches my brand. So I was like, table, decorations, perfect. So yeah, none of them sold. So the things that I was really surprised at that sold first, or should I say the fastest, not necessarily first, was both of my crabs and my lobsters. When I only made 2 of these, but they went the fastest, and I was really surprised because everyone else had kind of looked at them, not at this market, but every other market, and was just like, oh, they're cute, put back. The next things that sold, which I don't honestly think I took any photos of, which was silly, but I will post a photo of the pattern here. So it is the bird pattern by Annie Carraway, which I love this pattern so much. I sold a rooster, a pigeon, and a seagull. I also then sold a white cat, and I think a brown cat, but I'm not sure. Oh god, this is bad trying to remember off the top of my head. What else did I sell? I sold a keychain. I sold the hippo keychain. I sold a tiger, elephant, duckling plushie, and a sloth plushie. I think that might have been it. I also sold a XL Granny Square bookmark. I sold the jellyfish. I sold some frogs, and I think a little ghost they went through as well. And I think there's definitely a lot more, and I will put them here because I'm not prepared for this video. I have just sat down and thought, let's film this, so it's just gonna be me word vomiting sentences to you, and I'm afraid you're gonna have to deal with it because this is me. But yeah, basically I sold a lot. I was really surprised at how much sold, because like I said, I just wasn't expecting anything, and I don't know if that's just, it was just like a mindset thing, like there was literally no expectations, there was no goals, there was no nothing. In my head I was kind of just like, I've got 2 markets left for the rest of the year, let's just do them. And if I decide next year, as in 2026, that I don't want to do anymore, that's fine, no harm done. If I do, great, I know what places to go to. But I genuinely had the most amazing day. I really did. Like, the staff were lovely. The people that I was around were lovely. They were all having a really good time. I had people coming up to me from other booths talking to me. I even went and bought some stuff from a fellow stall holder. I will link her Instagram here. She sells wax melts, and I'm a sucker for wax melts. So I bought 3 or 4 of her flavours, and my partner used them basically straight away. So yeah, it was just a really good day. And if you're wanting to know how much I made, if you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my iPad because it has my spreadsheet on there. So I made in 6 hours at New Bath Hotel and Spa £208. Oh, what the fuck? To say every other market that I've done, I made a maximum of, what, 40 quid? after the booth fee was taken off. Yeah, I'm shocked. So the table cost for this market was £25. There isn't a lot of people in there at all. I'd say there was probably 10 to 13 tables. They had food and they had drinks, and the people doing the stalls were allowed to have free tea and coffee, which was lovely of them. And as you know, I'm a sucker for a good cup of tea. They had live music and Christmas music playing, and to be honest, just music, which was really nice because there's a lot of times at some of the markets that I've done where there's been no music and there's been no chatter because there's been no people. Obviously, it's not busy, no one's talking. So sometimes it feels like there's like a dead moment where everyone's just like you know what I mean, like that awkward moment when you kind of wherever you are and it's silent and you're like, I physically feel like I can't do anything because nothing's going on. Here there wasn't any of that. It was just, there was music, it was entertaining. Even when there was a moment where it was empty, it didn't feel it because there was stuff going on, like there was music going on, and there was a whole bunch of stuff there being really, really nice. The only time really that it was like dead was probably the last hour. From about 3 onwards was when we noticed the most that people were like done for the day. And because of the time of year, obviously the days were getting a lot shorter. It was fucking freezing. And it was, yeah, that was the only time really that it died down. But yeah, £208. Crazy. I was not expecting anything. I didn't buy anything extra to go to this place. That I literally just was like, I'm just gonna go in with nothing, no expectations. And then that happened. So it's honest to say, really good market. I would 100% go back. They did mention to me that they have they're wanting to do like a summer market, because the hotel actually has like an outdoor spring operated pool, so they don't have chlorine in it because it's constantly flowing with spring water, so it's fresh water. A lot of the people there were actually like spa membership members, which was also another reason why it was busy, because there were spa members there as well, so there was instantly going to be someone because someone was in the pool. So yeah, it was just great, and a lot of these people were obviously my target audience, which was amazing. They did say to me that they would really like me to come back. I'm not holding them to it, but I would also really like to go back because it was just a great date. My partner even said that he might come with me. From the sounds of it, it's going to be a really cool event, and if it's the right weather, they said I think it would be outside, fine by me. So then obviously after that it was my partner's 30th birthday, so we had about a week off. I think I actually ended up having like 2 weeks off with like how it landed with work, which obviously then meant I had 2 weeks off from doing this as well. So I booked a spa day for him, bought him a bunch of presents. We went out for food several times. He had a great time. And then after that, which was the following weekend from me being off, was the Kimberley Library Christmas market. So this was my last market of the year. This was on a Saturday. This is my first Saturday market. Most of the ones I've done are on a Sunday. And this one was 10 till 1. So this market at Kimberley, the Kimberley market, was 10 till 1. The table fee was only £10. It would have been 20, but because I am a library member, it was a tenner, which I think is great. Like 50% off for signing up to a library that's free. The only people missing out is them. Again, this was another one. So this one we was actually upstairs. So it's not a huge library, but there is like steps upstairs, and that's where all of the market stall holders were, apart from a few downstairs. I don't think there was that many. Majority were upstairs. Again, I was the last person there to get sorted, but unfortunately, because of where the library is, I had to park in a car park that was, it wasn't even really far away, but I was that far at the back that it was just a trek. and me being me wanting to do as little trips as possible carried way too much, to the point where I was just dripping with sweat, and instant regret kicked in the moment I walked in and was like, I am boiling. I got ready for nothing, because now I am sweaty, my hair's a mess, and I feel like I stink. So that was great. I felt very self-conscious for a majority of that market, which obviously meant I also had to do that on the way back too. So again, me being me, as little trips as possible, and I did the exact same thing and was like, why have I done this to myself? Why have I done this to myself? So yes, that happened. But apart from that, again, successful, amazing market. Everyone was kind of talking in their little areas and walking around. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't move because I was so scared that I'd like left a sweat mark on the chair. I just stayed put and was like, I'm not going anywhere. You can come to me. Sorry. I made friends with someone else at this table, who was across from me. She was the loveliest person. She spoke to everybody. She bought so many things from my table. She was so funny. To the point where she's even emailed me for a personal crochet plushie commission of her cat, which I think is really sweet. So that is what I'll be working on next week's vlog. So that one, again, I went in not really thinking anything would happen. And it was also just like, this is the last one of the year. It's like 3 hours long. I'm really not that bothered. I didn't take anything with me to entertain myself, so I was literally just kind of sat there. But because everyone was kind of talking and getting on, it didn't really matter. And I mean, I can sit there for 3 hours in boredom and silence if I need to. It wasn't really that big of a deal. But again, it was really busy. So if I can, off the top of my head, I will list off everything that I sold. And I think I had sold... I didn't take any pictures of this layout either. And before I tell you what I sold and made, this table was the smallest table I have ever set up on. I thought it was going to be a 6-foot table, but it was a little bit smaller. I think it was about 4 or 5. And kind of looked at it and was like, shit, I need to work out how this is gonna go. And I just don't know how to do that. I've never had a table this small. And I didn't even, like, I remember going in paying and looking at them and being like, yeah, it's about the size that I've worked with before, it's fine. It wasn't. So I had to kind of change how I set things up a little bit. The bookmarks with how I figured out how I like it to set up, I normally have like in the middle, so I have 2 crates here, 2 crates there, and then my bookmarks sit here. I actually had to move them into one of the crates and then put a few plushies down the sides. It still looked good, actually. It still looks really good, but yeah, no. No. So what I sold at this market was... I had sold the last of my white kitty, so they are all gone. I sold a brown kitty. I sold a giraffe, a hedgehog keychain. I sold a ghost keychain, a pug plushie, a pug keychain, sorry, a ghost, a koala. And there was definitely more things, but am I gonna be able to remember? Probably not. Do you know what? No, I don't remember. I don't remember. Again, I will write them all down here as to what I sold, but for the life of me, can't remember. So this one, again, was another market that I made money on. And like I say, the table fee was only a tenner. So at this market, I made a total of £113. So in the space of 2 weeks, because these markets were only 2 weeks apart, I made over 320 quid. Like, what the hell? Like, if that was every market, that'd be great. But unfortunately, it's not. Because it was only 3 hours, I wasn't expecting it to be busy anyway. I thought it was relatively busy, but we did actually get an email from the organisers saying they expected it to be busier. It wasn't as busy as they thought it was going to be. But also the next day was when the official Kimberley Christmas market was on. So we was all kind of thinking that maybe the reason they thought it wasn't busy is because that was happening the following day. Like I say, I thought it was fine. I was really busy. So I had no complaints. This is again another market I would go back to specifically for Christmas, because it's a nice easy market. The people there are lovely, and it's just a nice place to be. I mean, it's a library, but yeah, for both markets I actually made money. Like, I am genuinely officially in profit for the year, which is what I'm most surprised at. Which I am also going to touch on because this is the first official year of me doing this business, and technically I didn't even start it at the beginning of the year. I would say I officially started this in like April, probably later, probably halfway through the year. So my total revenue for the year was £1,076.60. I spent £628.92, which was mostly on wool, actually. And my total profit was £447.68. What? So this year I had a total of 2 commissions, which were both A3 and both 2 animals, which is just, I'm going to be honest, wild to say that the first one was in April and the second one was over November, December is how long it took me to do that. That to me is really good for beginning this journey. 2 is 2 more than I was expecting to get, gonna be honest. I sold a total of X amount of plushies because I did in fact have a couple commissions from a few of the ladies at work, and then obviously sold some stuff at some markets. But yeah, that to me is crazy. But I genuinely, like, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have said like, oh, I made like a full-time minimum living wage this year from my business. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Especially with the way I was doing things. And honestly, as much as I do want this to be like a career for me and another income, a side hustle, if you will, I think my intentions around the entire thing was kind of warped and a little bit wrong. I did go in with the intention of wanting to make money, which should be an intention, but not the main one. I definitely strayed away from kind of what I wanted to do, or not even necessarily strayed, just didn't do what I wanted to do. I think I made a lot of stuff with the intention of selling it and not really thinking and considering. As much as I loved every single thing that I made, I'm not saying that I didn't, because I did. I put my heart and soul into them. They're absolutely made with love. But they're not kind of like the route I want to go down. They are a route to get me going. I think the only things that I really made with like intention was my bookmarks, and they didn't do as well as I was hoping they would. But then again, I haven't advertised them that great, and that's on me. That is on me. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I've had a total of 4 orders on Etsy, which is also amazing. Like, I wasn't expecting that either. So yeah, in general this year, really good. I haven't gone over the original video that I posted about my goals that I'd set myself, but I know a lot of them were like, I want to do a bunch of sketchbooking, and I want to make so many paintings a month, and blah blah blah, 100 scene studies. Did I do any of that? Kinda. I have several paintings on the go. I made 5 paintings this year, 4 of them for sale. They're not big though, they're A5. I think the biggest one that I did was A4, and I'm keeping that because it's of my cat Bella. But yeah, I did 4 A5 paintings this year. I started a couple. I had 2 commissions. So painting wise, that's quite a lot actually, to say that I only really got going like the second half of the year. And then yeah, just made a bunch of plushies, as you know, and sold almost all of them. I still have plenty left, but I sold a lot of them. So yeah, I'm really just surprised at how well I've actually done this year, to say that I really was like putting myself down in the last couple of months. Not necessarily November, December, but definitely like throughout half of them after doing some markets and just realising like this is just not going well. And I don't necessarily think that's me. I don't think that's the markets. I just think it's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't market myself great. But going forward, I haven't necessarily made goals for the year. I know in my last video, I think I brushed on a couple goals that I want to do and like kind of go back to, like not even back to what I originally wanted to do, but like start doing what I want to do. This year is going to be a lot more of that. I think rather than going with the aim of thinking that, right, okay, this is an art business, I need to sell art, I need to make stuff to sell, I'm actually going to go in and make stuff that I want to make. Oh, dead leg. Oh my god. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I am going in wanting to make art that I want to make and then kind of move on from there. So I have been drawing some of my own characters. I have been crocheting Viva Pinata characters. I've been doing quite a bit of stuff. And I'm just going to see where that takes me and kind of develop from there. The other thing that I find myself doing is thinking that I can't work on said project because I'm not filming it. So like the 100 scenes, the Viva Pinata characters that I want to make, all of these things I've not touched because I'm not filming it. And I don't necessarily think that needs to be the case, so I'm going to stop doing that. And if I want to work on something, I will work on it. I'm just going to make stuff and then I can just update you. I don't think it really matters if I'm not showing me making it, but I can show you what I have made. And I'm also don't think I'll be specifically doing vlogs like I have been doing, because again, there's just a lot of stuff that doesn't happen that I feel like is pointless showing. So I am more going to focus on just uploading what I want. I know that sounds silly, but basically I just don't want to overthink it. Like if like today it's just a sit down chatty video of me updating you on what's going on. If that is the way it goes and I just have to show you what I've made, that is fine. I'm also not expecting to upload every single week because again, I don't know if that is necessarily going to be possible, but I will do what I can. Even if it means that I'm only uploading a video of me doing some painting for 20 minutes and it is literally unedited and raw, that's what you're going to get, because that's the kind of thing I enjoy watching and that's what you're going to get from me. I want to be able to just document me enjoying art and just showing what I've made, and that's the way forward it's going to be. The only goals I've really set, I'm not even calling them goals, just things I would like to do this year, is actually more personal stuff. And to be honest, I've not even wrote any of the things down. I've just said, rather than sit, because I do that a lot, I will just write stuff down, think that it's going to happen, and because I've wrote down this 20,000 step plan and then I don't follow through. So rather than do any of that, I've just told myself, if that's what happens, it happens. My motto for the year is go with the flow. So we'll see how 2026 goes based on that. But I think for now I've done enough talking. I'm going to go ahead and start working on next week's video, or whatever video it is. And yeah, Happy New Year, happy 2026. I hope you have a fantastic year and would like to join me along on this journey. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye.